Welcome to Books on Point. They say you're never too young to start saving and learning about money. A book titled Manage Your Money Like a Grownup by author Sam Beckbessinger aims to get younger readers thinking about the basics of money, laying a solid foundation in financial education that most grown-ups today never had. It covers all the basics South African teenagers need to know about money. For more, we're joined by Sam. Sam, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Hi, it's lovely to be in the studio with you today.
So take me through the inspiration for writing the book for teenagers.
Well, I feel like money is one of the most important aspects of grown-up life. It has so much impact on all of the other decisions that we make in our lives, from our careers to everything else. And yet it's something that so many families really struggle to talk about. It's just this thing that's full of so much anxiety and shame and terror, frankly, for a lot of parents. So it's something that we just are not very good at having conversations with teenagers about. So I really wanted to write a book that was for teens themselves, that wasn't for their parents, for parents of teens, but something that allowed young people, when they're grappling with these things and they're starting to become aware of all of these issues, something that they can pick up for themselves and just really be empowered to learn the real basics of money in a non-frightening, non-intimidating, really accessible, funny kind of way.
When it comes to the conversations you've had with many young people over the past few years, what's your sense when it comes to their understanding of money?
So I was really amazed, frankly, by how poignant and profound and deep the questions were that young people were asking about money from a really young age. I spoke to kids as young as about 11. The book is really aimed at teenagers from around 12 to around 15, but, obviously you can kind of spread it a little bit wider. And what was really interesting to me, so I asked the kids mostly what they wanted to know about money. And the kinds of questions that kids have at that age, they're thinking a lot about inequality. That's one thing. They're really at an age where kids are becoming aware of the fact that families are different and they have different relationships to money. Some families are struggling with debt and unemployment. Some families seem to be spending a lot of money but are still very stressed about it. Some families are entrepreneurial. They're becoming very aware of those differences and those unfairnesses in the economy. So a lot of this book kind of tackles those big picture things about money and how it works and the roots of inequality as well. But then, kids also had a lot of really practical questions that were very relatable, even as an adult. Kids were saying stuff like, when I get pocket money, how do I stop myself from spending it all on day one? And I was like, same kid. That is the same question adults have. So the challenge in writing this book, but what was really fun, was balancing, explaining these really fundamental principles of money, like compound interest and debt and those really deep things, with also very sort of practical things like how to stretch your allowance a little bit further.
In your opinion, what's the biggest gift you could give yourself as a young person?
I think it's the gift of understanding that when you're young, there really are so many choices for you. But I remember finding, when I was that age, that kind of very overwhelming, not necessarily that positive. And there's this idea that I say in the book a few times, which is, in life, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And the biggest gift that I think young people can give themselves is allowing themselves to become clearer about what it is that they actually want in their lives, and to then make sure that they're being purposeful about funding those dreams or working on the skills that will let them have those dreams, whatever it is. But I think just that sense of purpose and figuring out what you want and taking that with and respecting those dreams, not feeling like you just have to live the same kind of life that everyone around you is living. I think that's probably the biggest gift you can give yourself as a young person. That and understanding compound interest.
Sam, on that note, thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, we have to leave it there, but definitely a book you can get for your teenagers. It's titled How to Manage Your Money Like a Grown-Up, and the author is, of course, Sam Beckbessinger. Of course, that's a wrap from us at the News at 1 team. The weather details are up after the break, and it's a goodbye for me until next week.